Hey, what's up, guys? It's been a while. It's Chris here from Aquarium Conversations. And, Jesus, does my beard look this bad? I gotta do something with this. Um, yeah, it's been a while since I've uploaded a video um, about fish tanks or, done any unboxings or new fish or anything like that. It's been a while. And I apologize for that. And, you know, haven't given up on the hobby. All the tanks are doing well. I'll show you some new things here in a second. But to be honest with you, I just kind of without making myself go broke and buying new tanks and setting them up and tearing them down and buying new filters and doing unboxing. Truthfully, I've just been kind of excuse me, buying things to just maintain what I need or allow me to do some sort of incremental upgrades. It's crazy, you get into the hobby, start out with one tank, and I think it's easy as a YouTube creator because everything's new to you. That your audience kind of comes along the journey with you from your first tank to your second to your third, so on and so forth. You're this kind of fish, and I think when you get to the point when you're just kind of maintaining everything, or in my position, you're not moving into a bigger location, or you're not renting a studio, or you're not taking out a second mortgage on, a second building to turn into some sort of studio or gallery. And no shade to those people who can do that. A lot of those people have inspired me in the hobby, and who I'm talking about. So I'm not throwing any shade their way. It's just that's not my situation, and I think just to be completely transparent with you, I've just kind of run out of things to really talk about, and maybe that's where I need to start. Maybe that'll kind of help reignite some of the creativity, and that's just kind of by talking about some of the things I go through kind of day in and day out, with these tanks and my situation, because I think everyone's situation is unique and it shouldn't go unnoticed. And I think we all have a story to tell. But yeah, I mean that's just kind of where it is. I mean, I got some things I'm excited about. I've got some things that less needless to say, there's some opportunities. But nonetheless, this hobby is so amazing. Every day, I'm invested in it. I'm learning something new. I'm experiencing something awesome. Whether it's stocking or tank size or filtration or lighting or whatever, I'm constantly, evolving. And I think that's kind of maybe where the conversation needs to pick back up, is kind of where I've started versus where I'm at now, and just some of the things I've learned, maybe some best practices, some things that have worked for me, some things that might be able to help, you guys out. But nonetheless, as far as some updates, oh boy, I'll start with two. I'll give you two. Those are probably the most recent ones. The two I'm probably most excited about. Let me turn around here. Can you guys see that right there? Okay, that's my living room. This is my living room, and in this spot sat what I considered at the time my first big tank. It was a 36-gallon bow front that I picked up at PetSmart. I still have that tank. To be honest with you, I knew I had something to really fill up this space here in my living room. If you guys remember, a couple years ago, I did a video where I went into a Petco, and the person who helped me out, sweet lady, had sold me a 55-gallon for $50. I think it was 50 bucks or something like that. And she told me that they were getting rid of the tanks. They were on clearance, and take as many as you can. I would have taken 2. I just couldn't fit 2 in my car at the time, so I took 1, and it sat in my dad's basement for over a year and a half, and I always had it. I knew it wouldn't cost much for me to get it up and running. All I had to do was buy a stand, which you see there. And really, this setup right here, you know, the driftwood was mine, the fish were mine, the plants were mine, the lights were mine, the heaters were mine, the filters were mine. This setup right here cost maybe $130, you know, and I mean like what I spent. Now I could go through what each piece of driftwood cost, but I'm just talking about what I spent here recently. It was $130 for the stand and the gravel. But let's talk about it. 55 gallon. This is 4 feet 48 inches by 12 by 20 tall, I believe. It's one of those tanks that I think is a staple in the hobby. It's very, very versatile. You can, this will probably be one of your first tanks where you're, maybe adding a lot of fish or getting fish that get relatively large. And what I mean by that is maybe, 6, 7 inches, maybe, things like that. Or you decide to do a nice school of tetras or angelfish, and you have the room to do that. You could see this wall that it's sitting on right now is probably a 6.5 foot wall wide, and you can see how much of that space it takes up there. So it's a pretty decent sized tank. I'd love to get a 75 or 90 one of these days, but while I'm here in my apartment, I think between this and the 65 over there, that's probably as big as I want to go for now. But yeah, I mean, some of the fish are still a little skittish. I got a Jack Dempsey over there in the corner. I got a couple fire mouse. There's a rainbow cichlid in here somewhere that loves hiding behind this piece of driftwood. There's some Colombian redfin tetras. There's some Buenos Aires tetras in there. My best attempt at a South American tank. South American cichlids and tetras that I believe are native to South America. Correct me if I'm wrong. But another thing I'm excited on is, I got 2 internal filters in there. And you know me, I always like to kind of double and triple up on my filtration. I got a heater over here. But down here, I don't know if you guys can see it, is a canister filter. This is not the first one I'm running. I'll try to get to that in another video. But this is a Marineland canister filter that I found, again, at Petco. And they were clearancing out. And I think I paid $30 for that thing, maybe. So, as you guys can see, the tank's crystal clear. Really, it's only been set up for a couple days, and I don't have any cloudiness or nothing. Tank's crystal clear. I used a lot of the driftwood. Like I said, these came out of other tanks. All the stuff was cycled. There's actually cycled substrate underneath the gravel to help with the cycle. So all things are going well right now. But super excited about this tank. Takes up a lot of space. Definitely a one of those tanks it's hard not to stare at, to be honest with you. So we'll go around here. 40-gallon saltwater tank is still doing well. I'll do a video on that in a second. 65. Talk about that one later. But this one right here has got its own story to tell. That's my 40-gallon breeder. And I just set this up today, so water's a little cloudy. I apologize. But I know you're thinking, well, Chris, that's not salt water. And that's fresh water. But where are the plants at? And what are these? What's this funny looking substrate you got there? Chris, are you doing what I think you're doing? And the answer is yeah, I am. So I'm going to take a crack at African cichlids. So that is a crushed coral substrate there to raise the pH. Still running my same, what was this, a PetSmart clearance filter. I think that cost me $30. I got an internal filter back there in the back. Excuse the rag on top, I was just wiping it off. And I know you're thinking, well, Chris is a 40-gallon tank. You can't, run Africans. You can't run peacocks and haps in here. No, not full grown. Okay, maybe in there one day. But what am I going to put in here? You guys are going to love this. Hang tight. Or actually, come with me. Say hi to the fish. So in my bedroom, there's a saltwater cube over there, and I picked up fish. Can you see them? Can you see the fish that might go in that 40-gallon breeder? See what size they are? There's two of them right up front. There's another one over there, and I think one just went and swam around the back. Chris, that's impossible. You can't have those. Not in a 29-gallon. No. Not full grown, but at this size I can. Say hi to the angels. Angels are doing well. I love this tank. Absolutely love this tank. This tank is the last tank I turn off before I go to bed. Lights being, that's what I turn off. I absolutely love this tank. It was a bare bottom tank. I pretty much set it up as a quarantine tank. Put some wood in here and absolutely fell in love with it. But yes, those are frontosa cichlids. That is what will be going in the 40 breeder, and I will be growing those out, and I am super excited about these fish. Those are kind of some of the fish that when you see videos and pictures of, you just absolutely fall in love with. And yes, they get relatively large. I may only end up with one or two, but I'm going to have a hell of a time growing them out. And just their mannerisms now, they're mid-water swimmers. As you can see, they hang out in the middle of the top of the water. Their color patterns, their stripes, I absolutely love. So I cannot wait for that tank, that 40 to cycle, and I get these guys in there. I cannot wait for that. Be my first shot at it, so any tips or tricks you guys got for me, throw them my way. But I'm confident that it's going to work out well, especially just kind of growing them out in the 40. We'll see what happens. I'll find some wood to knock on here in a second, but super excited about that. But I'll end it there. And haven't gone anywhere. All the tanks are doing what they should be doing. I'm okay, even though I need to trim my beard. But just wanted to do a kind of a quick, probably I know that we're about over 10 minutes, so somewhat of an update. Give me some ideas, guys. Help me out. I've always appreciated the questions and comments and even ideas that have come from this community. So, but I really think that maybe just kind of sharing my story, how I started, some best practices, things I've picked up along the way, I think is a good place to start, just to kind of get back into it and really get back to connecting with you guys. But I'll end it there. Any questions or comments, leave them down below. And as always, guys, see you down the road. Bye.